We're the curse now, VODS.
We are. We definitely are. It's just the way it's meant to be.
So Sandbox and D Plus gonna go to 6 games as well later tonight.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Easy peasy. As I think KT should for sure look into adaptations in drafts. As T1 says, okay, we've had enough of it. I'm sure afterwards Keria's like, guys, I want to have fun. I want to carry. Please, can we ban it so I don't have to do it again? Because the Yuumi, clearly, regardless of how you feel about whether or not it actually is first pick worthy, I think there's a couple of other picks. Cassante comes to mind as well, even though in the LCK it's been much lower priority than in, for example, LPL or LCK Challengers. The Yuumi remains in, at the very least, like first half of rotations, no matter what, depending on what else is available. What's most notably to me here is the complete lack of priority on the Varus, the Ashe, and the Heimerdinger. Picks that a lot of other teams have like regarded as some of, if not the best bot laners, even over Lucianami, even over a possible Zeri. And now you're basically forcing KT to ban Lucian. But if they do that, then they don't ban Ryze. But if they don't do that, then they play Lucianami, and Yuumi and Lulu are gone. So T1, I think, really, really nice setup of the draft here. And that's, well, guess what that's going to be?
Ryze.
Guess what?
Faker's Ryze. What, Ashe?
Well, I'm on board.
You could just Ashe Varus. I mean, there's no Lucian anymore, and Zeri doesn't have a good support.
I was really gunning for a first pick Ryze, but I actually...
But now you're giving up a Ryze.
Yeah, I do think that the Ashe is so incredibly versatile because it is one of the best AD carries from Heimerdinger. It is an incredibly strong support. You can combine it with Varus for an extremely oppressive lane. And if they lock in, I don't know, Ryze Wukong here, which would be very in line with what they've done thus far.
Or just steal the Heimer away. Okay,
so here we go. T1, Jhin Elise. I don't know about the Jhin, but the last time we saw the Jhin, it was in response to specifically, I mean, Jhin support, right? Into the Heimer. You can also just go Jhin Varus, or Ashe Varus rather. I really like picking the Elise with that combination, specifically because I think it gives you a very, very clear way to turn what is an incredible pressure lane into surefire kills. Elise does it better than anyone else. Although the Heimer is a little bit annoying because I do think that it makes reliable shoving a little harder depending on what partner KT can find for the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they go for here alongside the Heimer. It won't be Ashe, of course. And Sejuani, another choice. I mean, this is a pretty flexible jungler. You could get aggressive on a pick like this. It's no Elise, but maybe a little bit more balanced in terms of what it offers to the team. And that will be the choice here for Oner. So what is going to be the AD carry for KT? That's what's to be expected to be chosen. I suppose they could just go for jungle, and the Wukong being available. And it would definitely be banned if they didn't go for that, so they'll save their AD carry choice for later.
Wukong makes sense both for Cuz, as it has been one of his main champions. He really used it well as an instigator in both Game 1 and 2. And also...
Look at Amy's face. It's like, oh man, here we go.
I'm not going to have a good time. I think you pinched AD carry pool now as T1.
Imagine he plays Ezreal or something. It's going to be...
Like Ezreal Heimerdinger into Ashe Varus sounds like a really bad time.
It's going to get real weird here, I think, in the bot lane in just a moment. Although it is very difficult to pinch out an AD carry pool.
Yeah, I don't like aiming will have something to play, but will it be good?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stronger picks are there, and as
it seems like they're scared of that the most, I guess. I mean, aiming Ezreal is quite strong, but I think Ashe Varus would have dumped on that one.
Also for T1, the Twisted Fate, I think, or the Galio are two options that you might be looking towards here going into the second rotation. Azir going to be the ban here after all. But anything that can try and match Silas is another example, even though it hasn't historically been that successful. I do think there's a lot of great ultimates on the other side already. Anything that you can try to use to bolster what is already a really strong bot side, play towards that with a mid laner that can actually impact the side lanes as well.
Just leave yourself with Wukong AD. Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
I think you need some kind of AD carry, right? Like
You do, yeah. Particularly against what T1 has in terms of wave clear already. And we don't really know what Faker is going to lock in yet. As
it's Jace.
Well, it's Jace for Zeus. And that goes without saying. It is.
It's Kassadin.
Kassadin and Jace actually is amazing as well. Kassadin and Sejuani. We didn't talk about the Kassadin at all yet, but it's an incredibly strong duo that can really work well together. Kassadin with the auto reset on his W.
Shout out to Effort.
Oh yeah.
Nasus hover.
Nasus hover. That's nice. That's a throwback.
Keria shouting out to a former T1 support. Renekton
and Gnar are the options here. As much as I like Jace,
the two options
those are
Renekton
the two options
Gnar.
into Kazanze that we have seen be at least moderately successful.
All right.
Okay.
What's it gonna be?
Why are you giggling? What's happening?
It's gonna pull out the Teemo, I guess. That would be awful.
It's got to be something fun.
I mean, Zeri was still available, but now you're playing Zeri into Ashe Varus.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to end well. So the upside for KT is that they have a rise into Kassadin. So I actually do think that as rough as this bot lane matchup is in isolation, you will have a mid lane that is prio that can roam towards bot on a moment notice. And the rise is so strong as both an individual pick that I do actually think that you can get this bot lane towards a later stage of the game, especially with the counter shove that Heimer has as well. But does that matter? And that's where I'm like, I don't know, because Ashe Varus, in terms of initiation, in terms of poke, in terms of like locking you out of games, is incredible. And then we have the ultimate level 16 threat in Kassadin at the ready as well for Faker.
Yeah, for Faker as well. It's about to get pretty spicy because you saw Aiming's face when he had to lock it in. He's like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah,
like,
we thought it was a
it's
smile.
not going to be fun for anyone.
We thought it was going to be the smile of, oh, we're going to have fun, but it was the, oh,
yeah.
I'm about to get boomed. Please come help me, BDD.
Like everybody knows, you know, like they are handshaking and saying, okay, we're going to get boomed in lane. There's nothing we can do. Hopefully you can get carry potential in the late game because otherwise you're going to be totally useless. And if the Zeri can't farm, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. At least she's not going against Elise. That's one thing. You know, maybe Chronicler, if they had gone for the Elise, perhaps.
Oh, I'd be calling it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't matter what it would look. As long as Ezreal was banned, like, I'm calling it immediately. But now...
Still dive with the Sedge. It'll be interesting to see.
It's still good. But I do think that there's a little more leeway here for KT. But if things go south, they'll go south very quickly. And BDD and Cuz, to me, going to make big moves here in this game to counteract the pressure that surely is going to come out from T1.
Yeah, not the first time for them. They did a great job of that in Game 1. We'll see if they can pull it together for T1 in game number 3. And here we go. We're on the Rift here for game number 3. This is a game 3 that maybe a lot of people would not have expected. I know coming into this one, 2-0 was a very common score that people were saying for T1. And I was laughing because Aiming went boots in 4 pots. And it's not a bad idea because you got to dodge a lot of stuff and you have to sustain through a lot of poke.
Yeah, we're going Fleet, Resolve, boots, 4 pots. Will it be enough? Time will tell, but it is definitely as much as you can opt into in terms of trying to stay alive. Guma also going for the Comet, not the Halo Blades that we've also commonly seen, especially in conjunction with the Ashe. Interesting note that Keria has gone for Ghost here on Ashe. Not the rune that we not the summoner rather that we commonly see. Also note Faker going for the Unsealed Spellbook here. Oner also going for the Aftershock. We've seen a lot of Phasor Sejuani, so really a lot of rune choices here that we have not seen for a while. And yeah,
the second win on Aiming.
Yeah,
it's like okay, we know.
He knows.
We know what's going on. He knows what's going on. He's got 4 pots and boots, and I'm sure that teams have kind of been brainstorming how to handle a lane like this in recent time. No doubt we haven't seen it, but they've probably been scrimming ways to get through a lane like this with a hyper carry such as Zeri. We'll see if this is an answer. So far, this has not been good in terms of the harass we've seen out of T1 side, but it will get worse.
Yeah, actually very nice done on the early dodge of skill shots. Note the pathing here from Oner as well. Has gone for blue wolves and is now doing Krugs. Maybe attempted... Oh, that's a lot of poke. Attempted early crash here from KT. To then maybe look for a play around Cuz. Not going to be the case. Possibly Oner wanted to cover. But yeah, actually aiming in lands, really utilizing the power of this Heimerdinger in particular. Nice Zeri W as well to put the pressure on Gumayusi.
Yeah, it's definitely a good look. You know, just again, kind of fighting fire with fire. And I mean, on the other side, you saw that the refillable is here for the Varus. He also went Biscuits. Ash has a couple of pots, so they should be okay. It's not like gonna put an end to this by any means, and they're only going to get more and more obnoxious. But even a heal used by Guma just to make sure they don't get too low. As now, some damage on the lands. He's got Oner in the bottom side already at level 3, but this is spotted.
And that is 2 summoners used for T1. Oh, I think Oner knows. BDD also, this is exactly what we were talking about. Look at him, continuously shoving in that lane. He's now back in vision, but he was hovering earlier on. And as a result, the Gumayusi Keria really have to respect. Can't make plays when the rise can arrive at any given point in time. And as a result, early laning phase going well for KT, but I do agree with you. It's not like you have to win this lane in the first couple of waves. Once you go back, sorry, the Dirk picked up. The poke will remain obnoxious, and the prio should be still easily attainable. It's more up to T1 to actually turn that into something useful, as Cuz they get double scuttle there. Very nicely done.
Yeah, and it all kind of came down to Oner hovering bot side very early. Oner could not push into the Wukong, especially with the Lens roaming out of the lane, so he had to go for kind of an awkward back timing after spending a lot of time there. So Cuz takes advantage of that, as Lens is here, being very annoying. The 2 supports butting heads. Top lane looks like it's going pretty even at the moment, but of course this is being pushed in with a fairly large wave, so Oner trying to potentially set this up as Cuz unseen for now, but they'll know that he's here as they move in. They're gonna make a move on to Cuz. Flash on in, the stun is there, and the follow-up with the Sejuani stun. Oh, can someone auto him? First blood, Oner gonna take him down as he is extremely low, and now the rotation will be coming in from KT. Yeah, can Realm Warp for sure, just to make some vision as, nope, he's gonna get over the wall. And he is going to spot Oner with that Realm Warp. And that will be an execution for Oner. So works out for T1 in the end.
Bit unfortunate execution on because it starts off amazing, then it went a little bit yakety sax, and then it ended amazing again. So in the end, T1 I think gonna be happy as all the hands.
Oh boy. Unfortunate timing for Faker is now the gank from the Heimerdinger might be what is all that he needed, as now BDD just follows up with a flash and okay. Waiting for the reset here on the mana for Faker's ult, and he actually gets away for now.
He's not going to go for the execute, though.
They're going to spot him, yeah. Cuz is coming over, and now, yep, the reset of the mana on the ult. So Faker still very low, but he cannot execute, so Cuz should be able to clean this one up. Yes, he will. 300 gold over to the KT jungler.
This will lead to a Drake getting picked up for T1, and there was a substantial amount of time involved. You also see as soon as they know where Cuz is, the T1 bot lane decides to fully shove it in, right? And that is the benefit that they got. And overall, even though they got the kill on Fake, I don't think that's really worth it for KT, because that gank, Lahens roams over, which means T1 bot lane is shoving. And then the moment that Cuz also shows up on top side, T1 at that point already has committed to try and get as much out of the cross-map play as they can, with Lahens not being in the lane. And unfortunately for KT, it actually worked out. The start of this is beautiful, because Oner up until this point has not been seen at all. right? You have the auto reset, you hit the W, and then, yeah, this that was a rather unfortunate sequence of events for T1. But fortunately, they're able to get him out of the lane. Really nicely done later on by Zeus as well, where he uses the first slice and dice to reposition, then uses the blast cone, then uses the second activation of slice and dice that he got by dashing through King. So all of that was nice, and in the end, it is still 2-1, and that against a favorable trade, as Faker, the only one that's going to have to pay with his life, but in the end, didn't even really lead to him getting a CS deficit, so he should be fine.
He wasted a lot of time. You know, even BDD was running all the way through the jungle, getting the Scryer's Bloom to try to spot him out and all that good stuff. Now, this is on Vision. Zeus is totally fine. He doesn't have Flash, so if there was in Vision, I suppose there was potential to get ganked, but it is Renekton after all with Dominus. As
if only they knew. If only everyone saw what we saw, Valdez. I'm kidding, because we have full vision of the map.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a core point of the game.
We're very knowledgeable about what is going on.
At all times.
Yeah.
When spectating a game.
It's a nice little free plate in mid lane. Not sure how that happened. VDD does not have teleport. And KT just going to start up the Rift Herald in the face of Oner, who is level 6. Keria not level 6 yet, but he has Ghost, and he's kiting down BDD. He's got him slow. There's no flash on BDD as Oner goes in, and they will collect and feed this to Faker. Free kill for Faker as Ghost Ashe support is what essentially starts that one off.
Oh, they're going to have even numbers, though, with aiming coming over. But I don't even know if that's enough. They're still Renekton with an ultimate. It looks like T1 saying, why take the risk? I don't know who this T1 is. Letting go of a Herald, you know, I thought we'd stayed in the same meta for about a year now, so maybe T1 would act the same. No, they're like, we can get free plays on bot lane. We already got a kill on our hyper carry. Who cares?
Free play for
Take
Guma.
It easy, free play for Guma. He gets the shove in, denies some of the wave. The aiming was roaming up. No problem.
It's very intelligent macro play. It's something we called for all the time. You remember the days of just going all in on Heralds?
I do remember.
And we were asking
this is
for
so dumb.
So many plays. This is the way. I mean, Ryze doesn't have Flash, so where's he gonna go?
Yeah, he's trying to waddle away. Unfortunately, not going to be the case, and that is the beauty of the volley. BDD may be a false sense of security, considering that Keria wasn't 6 yet. And really, when you're facing Ashe support, I think what you're generally looking out for is either the arrow or the vision. But yeah, as long as the support is there, once the first slow connects, if you're a Dastus champion and you don't have Flash, you are dead.
It's absolutely true. And Keria's, he's gone on a lot of vacations recently around Summoner's Rift, but Guma has just kind of stayed at home.
He's been working hard, okay?
He's a homebody, working from home, right? He's getting all that money, all that cash from the turret. He's doing his job.
The most he'll do is go out, get an ice to Murakami, there's a little treat for himself, and then he goes back to the wave. Back to grinding.
Back to the wave, and Keria, I was a little bit worried because he was away from the lane for a while and he wasn't level 6, but he's able to hit it. He's able to soak XP somewhere. And now maybe doesn't necessarily need to be down there. Looks like Lehens is also gone from there, and he's level 4. As that is going to hit, an immediate cleanse has to be used by aiming. Not a comfortable position for this Zeri in the bottom side, as we expected.
I'm going to have a bad time. The Varus ultimate notoriously slow, but really nicely done by Keria. Really living up to that marksman, position here as a support.
It's looking good for Keria's POG already.
I'm feeling it. I'm on board, yeah.
How is Lehens still level 4?
He's been moving around a lot, but he's not been getting a lot done, and that is unfortunately resulted in his turret being almost down, him being extremely low level, and.
I think just sit in mid, but you don't really want to take levels away from the Ryze.
Yeah, but he's level 4.
That's okay.
And Heimer is like Ashe.
There you go.
You really want your ultimate. Oh, he's level 5 now.
Nice.
Oh,
better than level 4.
Oh, yeah. Marginally, I'd
Improvements have been made.
And it is strictly better, yes.
Yes. They are actually going to throw that in, and the Ash Arrow as well. And the Chains of Corruption. They really hate this level 5 little guy with the crazy hair, and you know what? That's just going to be another free kill, and that's what happens when you draft a comp like this. Your pick potential is just off the charts.
He's never going to hit level 6.
Yeah.
They're going to keep killing him. It's unfair.
Solo QE already would have left.
Oh, yeah.
He never would have hit level 6, actually.
Everyone will be saying FF15.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening in this game.
9 times support. Summon the support.
You really have to lobby for those as well.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget if you're on the enemy team. Unfortunately for KT, one thing we were afraid of with this composition was the bot lane, and it hasn't really happened in the way that we were expecting. Because I think aiming on lands in terms of pure 2v2 have been like okay, right? It's been more like the map movement. KT really has kind of put themselves in awkward positions, whereas T1 can just throw non-committal CC, be it hard in the form of an arrow or a Chains of Corruption, or just volleys, right? Or a Glacial Prison. And if it doesn't hit, then they can still poke you out. Like KT is very short range, barring Heimer, but Heimer is in a ditch this game. So as a result, you really need to try and get things going, which would be up to Cuz, but I don't even think your fighting is that great unless you kill Guma and Keria, but because there's no pressure on them, they always have their summoner, so it just doesn't leave you with that many options as KT, and T1 has a lead, but they don't need a lead, right? Like, they could be 2k gold behind and like down a Drake, and they would still be completely happy because...
Let me introduce you to Kassadin. Yeah, he's a pretty fun champ. But now he hits level 16 even faster.
Yeah, and with lanes like the Varus and the Ashe in particular, once you do get a lead, oh my god, as the opponent, are you having a bad time? Because you feel like you have to walk up because you need to catch up and you need to farm waves. But you can't walk up because you get volleyed, and then you get hit by an arrow, and then you're at 60% HP. You need to abandon ship, otherwise you get dove.
Come on, Lehens, you can do it. He's still level 5. Poor guy.
He's so close. He's actually not that close, like 60%.
No, he's not. I mean...
Yeah, Jonas Strong is like, this little snowman.
Yeah. This poor little Frodo. Oh, man. Meanwhile, Faker's level 11. He's pretty far ahead. So is Keen and Zeus, the 3 members on the Rift who have hit that. Lehens is miles away. This top lane, it looks like it's not really going to matter until it does again.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I appreciate Jonas Strong is like, okay, we're doing a quick checkup. So 60% of the game is bot lane, or wherever the bot laners are. Ooh, that's a lot of... That's a goal they were like, nah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We're good. We're just going to take the global gold and head up to top.
They read the play. The gank was coming in from KT.
So it's like 60% bot lane, then like 30% mid lane shenanigans as Faker's going to fight Cuz.
Yeah.
He's 2 levels up.
Kind of interesting. I mean, the arrow is going to come in, and the flash doesn't help him at all. Chains of Corruption, you are gone. They feed it over to Faker as well, who now has 2 kills under his belt and is stacking the XP and gold. T1, they are just... They're like paragliding into the victory right now. Feels so easy and smooth for them. Okay, a little bit questionable, but
What's
fine.
Power gliding?
Paragliding.
Oh, paragliding.
Yeah.
I was very. I wanted to ask you about this.
Sounds
what
like
is
a solo
power
queue term.
gliding?
They're Astro Smurfing to the victory too.
They're power gliding. Oh, I kind of know. I wish it was a thing.
You can only power glide as Zeri, I think. That's like the one champ.
Actually, Oner looked like he was power gliding there. He was doing like the smooth drive by.
Yeah.
I know he isn't power gliding. That's Lance.
He hit level 6. Yeah. Congratulations.
Overall, the game state is very disastrous for KT. And one of the big issues that I do have is that their combat mechanics, to me, are fairly rough. You don't have the type of enabling for a Zeri that we had in some of the other games, right, where Aiming was both fed and had, I think, a much better shell around him. You have a comp that is incredible at sieging on the side of T1, but you're also in a game state where KT has to force fights. Because if you just give over the objective, then you're probably in deep trouble. And your Zeri power spikes are still so far away that I don't even know if you hit 3 items like by the time Elder comes around. Like that's how dire the current game state is.
Yeah.
And even if you do, I don't know if it'll matter. Like that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like aiming has to walk up. They have to collect this wave, but he pays with about a quarter of his health bar, and the turret takes a fair amount of damage as well.
Yeah, he's been doing an okay job of, you know, keeping up in the CS. The bottom lane was basically just the Varus pushes in, and then, you know, the Zeri collects the wave. So
Yeah, it's not his fault.
especially because, you know, Keria and Mahens have been roaming so much. So at least he's been able to catch up in terms of the CS, but it's not really the point of, you know, right now the game state, essentially, and where T1 is in terms of their lead. Mahens. Free damage coming in there from Faker. Total vision control essentially here for the side of T1. It's another Ocean Soul. The third one in a row. Somebody turn off that Ocean Soul switch, I swear. It's okay. Mahens with the big flank, I guess. The arrow comes in onto the Wukong, and he gets 100 to 0'd. Lance can't even get there on time. They kill him so quickly. And a couple of kills come in. And the Rift Herald is going to collect an extra kill over to the Varus. Make it 4. Can we make it an ace at 18 minutes? T1 just kind of playing with their food as Faker will just Sonya's at the end as the ace will be collected.
Clean ace coming through, and while the Nexus might not fall, I do feel like we're approaching the point very rapidly where the game might be over. Now, I'm not Wolf, so I'm not going to make a call because I physically cannot.
Yeah.
But very unfortunate scenario. I don't know if Cuz didn't have his W available, if he thought that he could sidestep it, but unfortunately unable to tank that with his clone. And the moment Wukong goes down, everything is a disaster. T1 just has to run him down. Faker, very, very leisurely, tanks as much as he needs to. Has the stopwatch after all. Even if he dies, doesn't matter.
Yeah. 가보자. Let's go.
I love that emote.
And, okay. Keria. He's not messing around. BDD's like, no, we're going to get him.
I think they will.
Yeah, they'll get him.
But at what cost?
This is Ashe.
That's what we ask ourselves.
Are they? Oh, no. They're not going to get him?
No!
He lives! Oh, the damage from Guma is insane. And this game is pretty much over. Faker is just globetrotting all over them now. 3 kills. He's level 13. The game is over. If we had surrender votes, we might be seeing one here, but not going to happen. As 4 kills go to the side of T1, it's 13-1 now, and they're just waiting for the T1 Baron.
They're waiting for Baron!
Yeah.
Because it hasn't spawned yet for the first time. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Remember
Faker's got
Game
his
1?
Seraphs completed. Oh.
Nice dodge. Yeah.
Seems like I wish top lane. Unlucky.
Well, as far as the exam go, I don't know if Keen passed. I think he passed, but not with great marks, you know?
Yeah,
like, if it's a pass-fail, he makes it through. I
was gonna say something, but I'm gonna hold back. I'll give him a C-. Okay?
There you go.
Instead of what I was going to say.
Maybe a D+. Overall, the fact that Keria doesn't get taken down to me is baffling. And I'm tilted on behalf of KT because we knew they were dead. We knew they knew they were dead. They knew they were running towards their certain demise.
Yeah.
But couldn't they at least have gotten the Ashe?
Penta. You can't even get a Penta. He was able to get a triple. Somebody was doing like a train noise in the background. I don't know who that was. Oh, Lahens. He should be okay. He's got some friends.
Still level 7.
Vibing. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Just Zeri thinks he's still able to power glide away. And, yeah, the turret will be going down. It almost feels like a formality as KT are pushing the top lane with Heimer ultimate, you know, because why not?
Might as well. There is...
Maybe that is the best play to do right now.
Fellas, in our observable universe, there is a sequence of events that has KT win this game, and maybe it all starts with that Heimer tool. We don't know. We couldn't possibly know.
They lure T1 into a false sense of security by doing the weirdest play known to man.
Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Not yet. I
Okay.
know. I've
Well,
heard it's great.
It's great, and I don't want to give anything away. But sometimes, you know, the path to victory can take us to weird places, and that's really all that KT has at this point, because the game state is non-recoverable. I'm afraid.
And he's still good with his cleanse timings.
Yeah,
At least he's
those
got
are
that
nice.
going. That's good.
That's nice.
You know, still a minute here on the Baron. Looks like they can just back and go top lane. The Ocean Soul not going to matter at this point. Faker still not getting his level up, but what he does, he'll just about hit level 16. He'll need a little bit of extra XP, and he'll get it, no doubt. Just going to solo push top so that he does hit it on the rod.
So if you could choose, would you rather open or have the series the way we have it today, or flip it, where we end with like the kind of close back and forth E-game? I feel like Game 1 was the closest in hindsight, even though it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
Game 2 and 3 were pretty unceremoniously one-sided.
I like to have a hype Game 3, I think.
It's generally better, right?
Yeah.
This leaves you with a bit of a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah,
As
just
well
a little
as
bit.
well
It's
as
a little
T1 is
bit
playing.
anticlimactic, you know? It's like, oh, well, we knew they had it in them all along, and then they just kind of skate to the victory, power glide, you know?
We're keeping that in there.
We have
Okay,
to at this
Cuz
point.
has a plan.
They're gonna get the Drake. He's just okay.
What? I don't know.
Push coming too fast. Uh-oh. No, he's just not. It's fine. Right? Right? Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine. Maybe it's not. No, it's not fine. Faker's legendary as he gets in there and picks up an 8th kill. This should be the end of the game. T1 will just push down the mid lane, or maybe the bottom lane where they do have minions. They have it in both. Does not matter. 24-minute game as T1 will just stomp them at the end of this game. Maybe they'll play with their food as well, looking for a little dive onto the fountain. They're trying to bait in Faker, and they will take down the Nexus in time. Bunch of good-natured buddies.